Did you know that the average person's attention span is just 8 seconds? That's shorter than a goldfish's. With so much information competing for our focus, it's no wonder that most speakers struggle to hold an audience's interest. In fact, 75% of people admit to daydreaming during presentations. This means that if you don't capture attention right away, you might lose it completely. So, how do you become a speaker who stands out in this crowded space? The answer lies in the way you connect with your audience. In this video, we'll explore unique strategies to keep listeners engaged for more than just a few minutes. From unexpected hooks to powerful storytelling, we'll uncover the secrets of great speakers. Get ready to learn how to turn your speeches into unforgettable experiences. By the end, you'll have the tools you need to grab attention, spark interest, and keep your audience wanting more. Let's dive in and transform the way you communicate. Chapter 1: Master the unexpected hook. It's no secret that the first few seconds of a speech matter. Research shows that you only have about 8 seconds to grab someone's attention, thanks to our ever-shortening attention spans. So, how do you stand out? Start with something unexpected. Maybe it's a surprising statistic or an unusual fact. For example, did you know that 55% of the impact of a presentation comes from non-verbal communication, such as body language? That's a stat that'll make people perk up. Begin with something that catches your audience off guard. It could be a question they weren't expecting or a humorous statement that breaks the ice. Think of a speech like a movie trailer. Trailers tease the best parts, often showing the most exciting or shocking moments. Your opening hook should do the same. Consider what will make your audience think, "Wait, what?" If you can make them curious, you've already won half the battle. Chapter 2: Storytelling with a twist. We all love stories. There's something timeless about listening to a well-told narrative. But here's the thing, if your story is too predictable, people's minds will wander. Adding a twist keeps your audience on their toes. Think about how great movies or books have unexpected moments that make you rethink everything. Let's say you're telling a personal story. Don't be afraid to add a surprising detail or a moment of vulnerability. Studies show that 63% of people remember stories better than facts alone. A twist, whether humorous or heartfelt, keeps the story alive in the minds of your listeners. A classic example of storytelling with a twist comes from Steve Jobs. When unveiling the first iPhone, he began by talking about 3 separate revolutionary products: a music player, a phone, and an internet device. The twist? They were all the same device, the iPhone. That surprise made the moment unforgettable and set the tone for one of the biggest product launches in history. Chapter 3: Vocal variety. Your secret weapon. Did you know that your voice is one of your most powerful tools as a speaker? Studies reveal that 38% of how we perceive communication comes from the tone of voice. So, why do so many speakers stick to a monotone delivery? Vocal variety means changing your pitch, pace, and volume to match the emotion behind your words. For instance, if you're telling an exciting part of a story, speed up your speech slightly. When making a serious point, slow down and lower your voice. Pausing after a big statement can make it even more impactful. Great speakers, like Martin Luther King Jr., mastered this. In his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, King shifted from calm and measured to passionate and powerful. That rise and fall in intensity kept the audience fully engaged. And it wasn't random, it was strategic. You can do the same. Practice emphasizing key points by changing your tone. If you're too loud all the time, it loses its effect. If you're too quiet, people zone out. Balance is key. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss the next strategies that will elevate your speaking game. Chapter 4: Talk with them, not at them. Interaction that ignites interest. No one likes being lectured. And yet, that's what a lot of speeches feel like. The key to keeping people engaged is to make them feel included. This is where interaction comes in. Research shows that interactive presentations can boost audience engagement by up to 70%. Why? Because people love being part of the conversation. You don't have to wait for a Q&A session to involve your audience. Ask them questions throughout your talk, even if they're rhetorical. Posing questions like, "Have you ever noticed?" or "What would you do in this situation?" gives people a moment to pause and think. This keeps them mentally engaged rather than passively listening. Another great tactic is live polling or audience participation. In one TED Talk, speaker Joe Smith, known for his talk on paper towel usage, made the audience physically participate by holding up their hands and mimicking his actions. This simple move turned a mundane topic into something interactive, and as a result, his talk has been viewed over 4 million times. Audience interaction turns your speech into a two-way street, keeping people actively involved. Chapter 5. Paint with words. Create visual imagery that captivates people. Think in pictures. In fact, studies show that 65% of the population are visual learners, meaning they understand and retain information better when it's presented visually. So, even if you're not using slides or videos, you can still paint vivid pictures with your words. The secret lies in using descriptive language and metaphors. Instead of saying, "We need to work together," you could say, "Imagine a team rowing a boat. If one person isn't rowing in sync, the whole boat drifts off course." By creating a mental image, you're helping your audience visualize your point, making it more memorable. Great speakers know how to evoke these mental pictures. In her book Resonate, communication expert Nancy Duarte highlights how metaphors and analogies help audiences connect abstract ideas with something they already know. So, next time you're explaining a concept, try to find a metaphor that paints a picture for your listeners. This technique helps people stay focused because their minds are actively working to connect the dots. Chapter 6. Silence speaks louder. Pauses that command attention. Here's a secret many speakers overlook: silence can be just as powerful as words. Pauses create suspense, emphasize key points, and give the audience a chance to absorb what you've just said. In fact, research suggests that pauses in speech increase audience retention and engagement by up to 20%. Think about it. When you pause, people naturally lean in. They anticipate what's coming next. It's like the moment before a punchline in a joke. This technique is especially useful when delivering critical information. Instead of rushing through your most important points, slow down and let silence do the work. Take a cue from Barack Obama. He's known for using pauses masterfully in his speeches. During his 2008 victory speech, he used well-placed silences after key statements, giving the crowd time to react and reflect. Those pauses didn't just emphasize his points, they allowed his words to linger in the minds of his listeners. To incorporate this strategy into your own speeches, practice timing your pauses during rehearsals. Use them right after you make a strong statement or before revealing important information. Silence isn't awkward, it's powerful. And when used correctly, it can be a game changer in keeping your audience engaged. If you enjoyed these strategies and want to continue improving your speaking skills, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join us for more tips that will help you captivate any audience.